Welcome, everyone, to Analytics Are for the Nerds, and Pete Rose is no longer banned. Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
What is your day looking like right now? Like
just Philadelphia cream cheese.
So my wife asked me to stop singing Wonderwall all the time, and I said maybe.
what does a nosy pepper do?
What?
It gets jalapeno business.
I need her forever. She had a life, Louis. She's a person. It's not about you, dude.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. That's something we're grateful for.
She didn't understand inflation. I got $5 for every Christmas from fucking 1984 to 1994.
You hang out enough. You copy each other's facial hair, and the double mustache and that is fucking gross. So welcome.
I do want to be clear, though, that I have earned one, and Lou is depressed. There's a big difference. Lou is still trying to convince 16-year-olds he's cool, and they keep telling him they don't want weed from him. They can get it from anywhere. So, there's a difference between mine and his.
I just love the depressed Kyle line. It's so good. How is everyone doing? Happy belated Mother's Day to you, fathers. How are you?
It always bothers me how much Ryan's laughing in that clip. That's and then we could see him backstage and he's laughing at himself laughing, and it hurts my feelings. I'm gonna have to edit that last clip out of the open sooner rather than later.
It's so good.
No, listen, we're laughing with you, Lou. We're not laughing at you. Okay, it's just such a good line. The delivery. I mean, it's great.
Allie, now we can talk about this. It's been a couple months, and you can, and I think we know each other well enough that you'll be honest. Is it better without, or was the mustache pretty cool?
I'm going to be honest. I don't hate a mustache. I think it's kind of fun. I'm more angry. I think we need to start hating on the goatee or just the flavor. But I don't hate it. There's something, the confidence of a mustache when you're intentionally doing it. If you are a person that's doing it because that's because you're over the age of 70, that's not hot. But if you're like, I don't hate the hipster mustache. I think it's kind of fun. And the fireman hops, I don't hate it.
So the progression of the facial hair and the coolness of the facial hair is, let's take a little dive through the history. When Tiger Woods had that goatees were cool for like a little part of like the late 90s. And then nobody else has been able to do it right since then. Ever since then, the first thing I think of when someone has a goatee is like Peppa Pig's, like Daddy Pig, like the lines. Like, it's just, what are we doing with that? Just, commit to the bit or don't do it at all,
Yeah. I look at mustaches like I look at women who don't shave their underarms. I'm like, I respect them so much, but when I look at them, I still go, ugh. Like, it's you're so empowering, but you're also, I can't do it. I can't smooch the mustache. It's really gross.
I think I might go back. You know what? So why I've been thinking about going back is that I might be entering the job market soon, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go back to bartending. And I'm like, you can't bartend as a middle-aged white guy without a mustache. Like, it's like I would walk in right now, they'd be like, out. Yeah, get out and don't come back in until you got your mustache and your little, and come back while you still got a few inches here before you can grow that man bun. See you in a couple months.
So you also have to have like the oil to like curl up the stuff. But I swear to God, you walk in with one of those, you're going to be walking out owning the place. I mean, they'll just give you all the confidence in the world.
100%.
What do you where do you wear for jewelry with a mustache? Is it like an anklet? Like, what are you doing?
Did I tell you this? I used to I always had a gold chain my whole life. They were mostly I had 2 that my dad gave me, didn't take off for years. Both have broke in different situations. So then I went like never wearing one ever. And then Jelena, my daughter, and that was from I'm sure my ex helped her out. I don't think Jelena went to the store and paid for it, but got me a necklace for Christmas that I have been wearing. I haven't taken it off. It's my baby girl that bought me. I went to Louis C.K. with Ryan Muir and a couple of friends a few weeks ago, and when I tell you I had a neon blue ring around my neck from this necklace, I had it for months and it didn't do anything. So I don't know if it just finally started wearing out, but I'll tell you one thing you won't be seeing me wear anymore is fake jewelry. The fake jewelry I won't be doing. But no, I don't know. Maybe I bust back out the earrings. It's been a while since I've done an earring, but
can you get like number 23, like the Michael Jordan? Just I just want something very like not, or 22. Do a little like.
I know that you're joking, and I know that this will not come surprise, but I 100% had at one point the sprawling Michael Jordan airing, like exactly what I'm talking about. Air Jordan. And Emma, I had that airing as a young teenager.
Did you call it the jumping Michael Jordan?
I call it the jumping Michael Jordan.
Watch sports, nerd. To me, like Ryan, do you have any jewelry, any piercings? Because like we could all do we could all get. I have several in my ears. We should all get matching Air Jordans.
Let's do it. I'm in. I've never had my ears pierced, never had any piercings, but that would be my first, happily. Let's go to Piercing Pagoda. Come on.
Done.
We just all
Memorial Day, guys. Let's do it.
That's going to be one of my fantasy team names this year, the Piercing Pagodas.
Oh, I love
it. Man.
All right, so we're getting our ears pierced. I love this. I love this for all of us.
Also, great fantasy. All those fun fantasy football punishments like that they do. The ones where you got to go drink a beer for every beer you drink, or you got to go sit at a bar for 18 hours, but every beer you drink, you knock off 30 minutes or whatever. Like those type of punishments, or the pancake thing. That would be a really good fantasy football. You finish last place, you got to go get your ears pierced in your middle age. That's I had an eyebrow ring when I was 16. I don't want to talk about how cool I was.
Gold necklaces, and I just
I was out. I wore all yellow and pink. I was a raver. I walked around with a pacifier for half my high school years. I was out there.
I can see it. I was a little thicker, and I wore a lot of parachute pants, so we just hear because it was safety, not because of the actual. Yeah, but Ryan, tell us about your great childhood.
I don't know. I used to, I guess, pop my collars. I don't know. Like, is that?
Oh, you so popped your collar.
Yeah, I was a big popping collar guy. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Well, there's everyone. I've got some interesting sport talk for this week's Everything and Nothing, and I'm sorry to the listeners who tune in just for my trashy pop culture that has nothing to do with sports, but this is also fantasy related. So I don't know if you guys heard, but Puka and his girlfriend Haley have announced they're having a baby. Now, gets a little more interesting. Puka hopes to retire before 30 or at 30. He was on the Join the Lobby podcast. He's currently 23, looks about 29. And he referenced he referenced Aaron Donald, and he said he wants to have about 5 kids. And he said by the time he's 30, he just wants to leave football when he's able to still walk to see his kids, and which is very respectable. But something to think about is one, having a child. Statistically, what does that do to a player in their first season? Because by the time the season starts, the baby will be, a couple months old, and that's not easy. And if you're just going to have then a household of 5, we've got 7 more years left. What's going to happen? Thoughts?
I love this. I love this concept. This is what other shows are not talking about, but we will. Other shows are too afraid to talk about the baby effect of, you know, what's going to happen to Puka Nacua. As a father of twins, I would say the first year. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a negative correlation, right? It has to go down. So, yeah, can't be looking good for Puka. Fewer, yeah, I think this is a bad
time. You're breaking up a little bit there, but I'll take over because I do think you're making good points. The early retirement thing, like, has to knock him down just a touch, right? Because that's one of the great things about wide receivers is they play later. They definitely hit the wall at 30 anyways, so it's like that's when he would lose his major value, pretty much no matter what. But there's a little bit of that, and it kind of like lets in to the type of person he is, that he is built a little bit different, that he is more like, hey, life's more important than football, which, not for nothing, super cool. I don't know if I want you on my fantasy team. I don't know. You know, like, I'm sorry. Are you gonna care more about fantasy football, or your kid? Okay, dude. No, and I don't want to, like, I know how this sounds, and I don't even want to be facetious or like joke around about this, but let's not give them too much credit, at least like being at home and like living that dad life, because one, they're on the road, so it just, you know, it doesn't allow them to kind of have that. But two, like, they treat their bodies and their lives during the football season as the most important thing. And, you know, I'm sure the moms and, you know, there's nannies and like stuff like that. Like, I'm sure it kills them, but I don't know if they're dealing with the, you know, they're not waking up at 2:00 in the morning on a game night to, you know, to help feed the baby. I wouldn't believe. But what you miss, Ryan, is like the thing that worries me, not worries, but if you want to put any kind of concept on this at all, as far as fantasy football thing, is like Puka's like a real good dude who seems like he respects life more than football. And that sucks for our fantasy teams, to be perfectly honest. I want assholes that want to play till they're 40, like Aaron Rodgers. that's who I'm looking for. So yeah, it's an interesting topic to talk about, because it is something we don't talk about enough, is the human aspect of what these guys go through. And Puka seems like one of the good ones, but yeah.
Ryan, while you're back on, do you want to say anything about that while I find a study that will, well, wait. Okay, actually I have it right here. Nope, I'm joking. Go on.
Yes, I just want to complain about my internet. I'm sitting right next to the Wi-Fi router, and for whatever reason, it's still causing issues. I mean, I don't know. Listen,
I have
now
employees.
You know what it was like for Louie and I when we were 12. Now you know.
Yeah, I had an employee that I had to let go about 2 years ago, because they always fought on the site. Like, I mean, he was fighting with everybody, arguing, fist fights, all these stupid things. And then he left, and for a year and a half, it was just peaceful. There's none of that on my site and this and that. And then I hired him back like 6 months ago, and within a week, just arguments, fights on the site, this and that, and I had to let him go a week later. Long story short, is common denominator is you with your internet and him with fighting. Like, we don't have problems with our internet. I think it's a personal problem. There's nothing going on with StreamYard, or just, you know, we all have the same internets. It sounds like a personal problem. It looks like a personal problem. You're dealing with it on a regular basis. And unlike Puka, I think you need to put some more work into it.
Yeah, Ryan, be better. Okay.
All right. Well, yesterday I was streaming, trying to like hold my phone up and like not make as many movements as possible so it would collapse and fall over.
He had to stay
listen.
completely still the whole episode because he had like his phone like propped up. It was so great.
While you were talking about the new Sabres prospects, right? The new
Yeah.
trade. See, look at that. Well, I'm so sorry, Ryan, for your. You had some really good thoughts too. I was like, oh, this is a layup, but alas. So let's keep going though. Here's some. I brought this a little bit in the beginning. Pete Rose is no longer banned. He's now eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame starting in 2027. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred stated that the lifelong ban on athletes will be lifted as they pass away. So when they are no longer with us, they will then have the ban lifted. Any takes on that? What do you think? You can be awful and then become a Hall of Famer once you die, or controversial, pass away, and then any hot takes on this? Yeah, Ryan, I saw you shake your head a little bit. Pete Rose guy.
I was just afraid to start talking because I was worried it's going to cut out.
I'll start then, and then we can go right. Pete Rose, it's just so hard, right? Like, and even with the steroid thing, like Barry Bonds is a top 5 player of all time, previous to any kind of allegations of his head getting bigger or when he started getting jacked. Like when he was 175 pounds, he was one of the best players of all time. So I really do want to leave it to how the player played on the field. And, I think this is a long time coming for Pete Rose, even though there has been fixing of sports and with referees and I'm sure players and, all that stuff that it's been happening for years. I think it's less prevalent nowadays than ever was before, but it's always been a thing.
I'm just laughing at the idea that there's a lifetime ban and that it expires when the person dies. Like, imagine if the Bills were like, we're gonna ban O.J. Simpson from the Wall of Fame. Okay, we're not gonna, and then he dies. Okay, and then they're like, oh yeah, no, we can put him up now. He's dead. It's all good. Like, what is the point then? Just ban him or don't.
They do the whole. They do the whole. They do a whole banner ceremony.
We put towels. We're waving it. We're like, oh.
Yeah, they're doing an OJ bobblehead night. It just comes with that knife.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about somebody peeing on somebody?
Oh, there's 2 things I want. I know. Again, I don't know if I want to because I feel bad for this person, but I will say there's a couple court cases that are going on that are very exciting. We are also we forced Ryan to talk about law. One is the Karen Reed trial, which is so crazy. If you're not following it, what are you, my mom? And then, but the Diddy trial is now in effect, and one long live courtroom, like the people that draw. That's insane. Because one, they're saying that there's a Kim Kardashian trial happening right now in France. They're drawing her like very not as flattering as she would like. That's what we wanted to talk about.
It's just some bitter like old woman just pissed off. She's
very
like putting every pimple she can see.
Yeah, it's not she looks like Daniel the Tiger. And then P. Diddy, and he has full gray hair, which LOL, because I don't know, he probably kills him. But his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, has been on the stand today, and really some outrageous stuff that was brought up. That's why I like it. It's funny to talk about outside of things, but like when you think about it, it's just awful and what a scumbag. And Ryan, have you been following? Louis, have you been following? Do you want to say anything about the trial? Do you want to
no, I've not really been following. I think the only time I can remember anything about like a courtroom sketch artist is the Tom Brady one. Remember from the Deflategate? It was like the worst picture ever. And then didn't he like make it like his like profile picture or something for a while or something? Like, I don't know. I hate how he can actually be kind of funny at times. I don't know. Listen, the guy Diddy, I mean, he's really messed up, and he's a predator. He's I don't know. It's but I haven't followed a lick of the trial. I've not done any research, nothing. It doesn't really, to me, like, I don't know. There's you can't watch the trial, right? You can just you can read on it, but we'll see.
Louis, there you go. Louis tapped it. He's like P. Nope. Tap your mic, love.
Yeah. No, that's where we fucked up as a society here, like, or just in general. Like, we just mentioned OJ. Like, this would be, I wouldn't go out some nights to sit at home and watch this trial. I mean, with the extreme shit that's going on. This is, you want to talk about the trial of the century. I think this is probably it. This probably even beats OJ for like all the crazy and like weird shit that's going to happen in that thing.
Yeah, and then just one more thing that has nothing to do with sports, because it's not everything and nothing without a non-sports conversation. But China unveils the world's first ever AI-powered hospital with 42 AI doctors. Now, imagine you're going to get your appendix taken out and you have bedside manner or a little small talk with your doctor. What are you talking to your AI robot doctor about? Louis, you go first.
I just like treat it like Grok. Like, Grok, walk me through this. Or like, Grok, do you feel like Pete Rose should be a Hall of Famer? if you could decide, I would ask it all the questions I asked Google for like an hour straight and see, like, if they did good answering those questions, I'd let them operate.
Where are you ticklish? And it's like,
it's like when Alexa, my daughter always asks Alexa if she's her friend. She's like, Alexa, are you my friend? And Alexa's like, I cannot answer that question right now. And she's been watching the P. Diddy trial. Alexa knows what to say and what not to say.
I am not your friend. Yeah.
I think if I'm in the room with like the AI doctors and the AI staff, I think I'm spending the majority of the time just getting them to rework like a new mock-up of the Analytics Are for the Nerds logo, because I'm still not in it. So I would just have them put me in there somehow. I think they'd be able to figure that out.
I've got an idea. If Ryan wins the big best ball tournament, then you will get a spot.
Yes.
On our weekly.
All right. I just have to win Best Ball Mania that I can't participate in because I live in New York.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And we're still getting our ears pierced. So
we're still
sorry, Ryan. Can't wait till Ryan goes to court and he's just has a 23. Like, his eye and he's like, so let's move on to football talk, everyone. So we are going to do a segment called Who Would You Rather? It sounds sexual, but it's not. It's still about sports. So I'm going to give you two different players, and they're being drafted very close to each other. So you're going to tell me who would you rather pick. I'm going to switch. So if someone goes too long, then the next one I'm going to make go last. So the first one, we're going to go Bashul Tutin or Jack Besh. Let's go Ryan first.
Well, you've heard me stump for Jack Besh on this show many months ago here. But in this situation, I'm going to go Bashal Tutin. The thing that's really selling me on Tutin is that the GM, James Gladstone, actually in his pitch to get the job as the Jaguars GM, he used Bashal Tutin as like a player that he would target in this scenario on a day 3 pick, his speed and what he sees for the offense. And then they get him. And then they have Liam Cohen at the helm, and Travis Etienne's got 1 year left. So I love Bashal Tutin a lot.
All right, Louis.
GM Gladstone, no relation to Joey Gladstone, I take it. But
thank you.
I know you love Bash. That had to be a really tough one for you. I'm going Besh here just because I like the spot a lot. I do like the player. I'm not all in on Tootin. I mean, he doesn't have a 3 down. I know that's just not what a lot of guys have. It's not like we're in the age of running backs by committee, but and I like him a little bit more in best ball because of the big playability, but. I mean, it's getting a little bit. Did you see there was a tweet today from, I don't even know. I wanted to call him out and I just didn't. There was a tweet today that legit said this: Tootin getting first rep snaps with the third string offense.
It was a joke. They were being facetious.
It had to be, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was a great joke. Yeah, it was Fantasy Gazette, I think, or something.
Okay. It was a joke, right? Okay. Yes. And I was like, okay, that's I was, because I was like, this is getting overkill that people are just trying to make everything about how much of an opportunity is. Now, I think it's very possible ETN or Bigsby get traded, and if that happens, there's some excitement.
That's the thing.
There,
I think we're still paying a discounted price. That's why it's almost. I think it's like 75-25, like likely to happen versus not likely to happen. That one of the two of them is moved off the roster. So if that's the case, I'm betting on Tootin all day in an explosive offense, and he's basically Devin Achane fast. Sign me up.
Okay.
All right. Fine. Sign him up. Ears pierced and signed up for Tootin. Okay, so Gadsden or Gunnar Helm? Louis, you want to go first?
Yeah, you know how I'm going to answer this, and it's how I've answered everybody. Any question with anybody that has a father that's played in the league. I believe in what's the word? Genetics. Always, I always bet on it. I'm still paying for Thaddeus Moss being a bust. He wasn't quite his dad, but I do think it works out more than it doesn't. They're going pick to pick. I do think I like Helm a lot. He's got a good opportunity. He doesn't have really much in front of him, but I don't know enough or like the player enough to take him over Gadsden, who is like skill, could be like a wide receiver. He's so quick and fast. So he's got the athleticism. I like Gadsden.
Okay.
I think this is a straight up pass on both of them. I don't really expect either of them to make an impact. I guess I'll take Helm and just hoping that he can supplant Chig Okonkwo and become somewhat of a target earner. I don't think that, I don't think we're looking back on this draft and either Gunnar Helm or Rondé Gadsden are meaningful fantasy players. I think they're more likely to be the Thaddeus Mosses of the world.
All right. Okay, so next up is Trey Harris or Luther Burden. Ryan, let's go first.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I want to start the Luther Burden train here, and I think Louis is setting up these questions because I think he's going to answer Trey Harris. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm big onto Burden. I think a couple of things. So first of all, I'm trying to buy the Chicago offense anywhere I can. If you can buy Caleb Williams right now, go ahead and do it. The first two picks were Ben Johnson selections. He's handpicking Colston Loveland at 10. I don't see what's not to like. And then, they probably wanted to go running back in the second round, but they got sniped on the guys. So they end up with a guy who in Burden, who I think could be like a Deebo Samuel light. So I'm very excited about this player, and I easily take Burden over Harris, and it's not even close for me.
Okay.
Not even close to me either, and I'm with you. I started off slow on Burden because obviously I didn't love the spot, but man, the more and more that I'm learning about what his role should be in the offense, the type, I loved him before the draft and who he was. I think in 2-3 years, we might be talking about him being the best wide receiver in this draft. And I don't think that that's crazy to think. And I am totally off of Trey Harris. I think Trey Harris is one of those guys that people are so high on because of opportunity. And man, like I think his ceiling is just being another Quentin Johnson. I do not think he's good. And
Ooh.
and we have another, I
Ooh,
know.
or before, okay, so not to cut you off, but so adding on to that, would you rather do Trey Harris or Jaden Milroy? Louis, what do you want?
Jaden Milroe, right?
Yeah, I'm
Jaden
going to
Milroe.
keep saying his name more French.
So
Like,
no,
just
that's a
kinda change it.
Roy.
Yeah, Milroy.
Milroy. Yeah, Milroy. Elroy. I again, I hate Trey Harris and his spot,
Ooh.
and Jaden Milroe is growing on me as a quarterback too. Like I think he is the most talented quarterback in this draft. How that works out for him, I don't want to totally assume that Darnold's not going to be a good quarterback here somewhere else than Minnesota. I do think he comes down to earth a little bit, but I do think that Milroe has the highest ceiling of all the quarterbacks. I've been saying that for months. I was going to be the most excited, and any chance I could get him, I'm getting higher on Dart, by the way. And I don't know if that's just like the New York and the Daboll, like kind of steam train, like that hype train that's happening right now. So I am getting pretty high on Dart myself, but Dart's well ahead of Milroe anyways. Like, but Milroe is going in these super flex drafts right by Trey Harris, and like any chance I can get to stack Milroe as like my third or even second quarterback in some of these super flexes, I'm doing it.
So
All
let
right,
the
so
record
here's
show that Louis does not like Trey Harris. So we're putting that record out there. No Trey Harris. Okay, Ryan, what's your take?
So here's a hot take for you. Not only would I take Jalen Milroe over Trey Harris, and that's not the hot take, but I would take Jalen Milroe over Jackson Dart straight up. And I understand the draft capital difference. I mean, you're talking about a first round quarterback, and you shouldn't just turn your nose up at that. But the hit rate on later first round, back half of the first round quarterbacks really sucks. Because if you don't convince a team that they should go up into the top 5 to get you, you're not really, you're on a different level. And look, I think Jackson Dart, what are we hoping is like the best case scenario, that he's like Joe Burrow basically, and that he is a pocket passer that just tosses 40 touchdowns to 20 of them to neighbors, 15, 20 of them to neighbors, and just is like a good pocket passer. He's not really mobile. He's not a rusher. So I think his ceiling is like, I mean, I don't think he's going to get Joe Burrow's ceiling. So if that's the case, I'd much rather take the shot on a guy who you can get, half round later, and he's got rushing upside, and he might not work, but if he does work, he's like that cheat code. So I'm Milroe over Dart pretty easily.
So then just a follow up to both of you, your take on this year's quarterback draft class.
I'm kind of down on it as a whole. I mean, certainly, I think relatively speaking to some of the previous years, not the same quality of talent, certainly compared to last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Cam Ward could be fine, but nobody really like stands out and excites me. That's why, this reminds me of like a Jalen Hurts year where he went in the second round. Milroe reminds me a lot of that. Similar draft capital, I guess 20 picks later, but still, you get the idea.
Yeah, I'm Milroe or bust. Like, I mean, Shador Sanders is starting. I'm sorry, I know he's probably our next question, but he's starting to go in like the early third, late second rounds of these super flex drafts, and I know like he's going earlier in super flex drafts than he went in the actual NFL draft. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. And really nobody else is exciting to me out of the quarterback. So I like Milroe when he gets the opportunity, which might take a year or two. But besides that, I think they're all bust.
But here's a follow-up question to your statement, Louis. So who knows best, the analytics or the fans who are trying to predict this 2025 season?
What do you mean as far as like
people are putting Sanders up as a higher pick when every single person whose job is to literally stare at every footstep a player makes, and they're saying no, and every player's like, every like fantasy football owner is going.
I think it's the hype around him originally. Like, he was still the quote unquote
second best quarterback, could have been the second pick overall going into the draft. So I think that there's just a lot of people hanging on to that skill.
Yes.
But
here's a follow-up to that. Maybe Ryan, you can answer. Are the people that are then picking Sanders, are they like my nephew who is 14 years old and who loves the game and he loves the fact that he's Deion's son? Like, are those like the stats maybe that we're looking at? Is those are the people that know football, they love football, and they love Michigan, but they're just trying to get a cool guy on their team?
Yeah, I think it's more so, roster needs, right? You get this is not a class where it's quarterback rich, but there's often a lot of teams in these leagues that just need to fill out that position. So, guys like Tyler Shuck are they're attractive because they're going to potentially get some starts this year, and that's how they're looking at it. So if you're not betting on any of these players for a long-term solution, maybe just playing the short game and flip the asset is the move. That's the play.
All right, so let's ask Tyler Show or Shador Sanders. Louis, what do you think? All right, whoever wants.
Oh, yeah, I am gonna just jump Sanders here. As much shit as I talked about him just now, is that I think Shaw is like going to be like a Rattler, like the same kind of thing. Davis Mills, like he might get 1 year where he, no one else is there, so he's going to get the year of, he's not a bad redraft pick because he's going to be their guy. In a pinch, if you're going after, like, if you need a third quarterback and you want to go youth with a little bit of upside and get him instead of, like, say, a guy that I'm targeting as my third quarterback and Aaron Rodgers, way cheaper, sure, but I just think he's going to bust. Sanders, for the same reason we just talked about, he does have the skill. Does he have anything else to get it together? I don't think so, but I still would rather have him over Show if I need somebody there.
Ryan, what's your take?
Yeah, I'm not taking Shuck unless it's like a deep discount. I much would, again, yes, he's a 5th round pick. And yes, it probably was the owner who was forcing that pick for Cleveland, but I'll take a shot and hope everyone else was wrong.
All right. Next up, let's go with Egbuka or Burden. Ryan, what do you pick here?
Yeah, I'm easily, again, straight up Burden over Egbuka. I like Egbuka. Let me just say that. I think he's a fine pick. I think he could be underrated in some of these drafts because he's one of those players that didn't end up in a great situation, but he's still kind of going early.
That's the thing. He's not that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was expecting a discount like to the early second, and I would love to scoop him up there. But in one of our leagues that we just drafted, somebody traded up for the 108 to get him, and that's still a bit early for me. I think I'd much rather be in that sweet spot. And again, player to player, I'd take Burden over Egbuka right now, just knowing what the role could be on that offense.
All right.
Yeah, I'm with you too. If I would have gotten a little Egbuka discount, I would be drafting him more. I just can't. He's going in front of all these guys, and I just don't get it. And I can't take him as a mid to even late first rounder.
Okay. Next up, just correcting my error if you're and also thanks to everyone who's listening, watching. Next up, we are doing Who Would You Rather Pick. These are players who are closely drafted together. So the next one is RJ Harvey versus Quinston Judkins. Louis, who are you picking?
I'm an RJ Harvey guy. We know I've talked about him a lot here. Judkins is going ahead of him in most drafts. I don't see it, dude. Harvey's gonna be in a good offense as the main guy. Not that Judkins won't be the main guy in Cleveland, but they got a pretty decent back in Dylan Sampson. Jerome Ford's not horrible, like whatever. I just and I didn't like the prospect either in Judkins. So I'm RJ Harvey all day.
By the way, Louis, expand on that.
What on the prospect of Judkins? Yeah. I didn't like him coming out of college. I thought he probably should have been like the 8th, 9th guy taken. What did he end up being? The 4th, 5th?
He was the third guy taken.
Third.
Was he?
He
The
went,
third,
yeah, he went
right?
before Henderson. He went after Genty and
So,
Marion Hep. Yeah.
So, and then just, I mean, again, the team, you want to see him go to not just a good spot where like the depth chart's good for him, but like an organization. And do you want to bet on any Browns right now offensively? Like, no,
Yeah,
I can't get there.
I kind of do. Yeah,
All
I'm in. So one thing that you can say about Kevin Stefanski, and we know this because he's been a head coach for several years now, is the guy knows how to design a run game. He might not be a good head coach. He might not be, but damn it, the guy can design a run game. And I'm not with you on the assessment of Judkins. I think he's a tremendous prospect. I really liked him at Ohio State. I've always been a Henderson guy first. I think I would probably pick Henderson in a vacuum over Judkins straight up, but it's so close to me. They're like a 1A, 1B type thing. Listen, Cleveland's going to be in a situation where they're going to want to run the ball a lot, and regardless of who's back there at quarterback, and they're probably going to look at targeting him more in the passing game than they would have if he ended up on some other team. So I love the opportunity. I love where he ended up. I think he's a great prospect. So I'm pretty easily Judkins here. Harvey's fine, but would you be surprised if Sean Payton decided in like week 8 that, Tyler Beatty was the one that needed to get the touches and he's going to ride the hot hand. He can get frustrating with some of his players. And yes, he did have Kamara, but that was Alvin Kamara. And I don't think he comes around very often. So I think the mistake here is that people are assuming that RJ Harvey is just going to be that plug and play replacement. I'm much more, Judkins was drafted much earlier. He was the 3rd running back in a deep class. I love Judkins here.
I love that response, Ryan. That's good. And you just made me want to watch at least one Ohio State game. So thank you for that. That was good though. But that's interesting. I'm very excited to see how this works. Maybe throughout the season, we can kind of do a little flashback on how these players are doing against each other. This is really good. I have a late round little add-in I'm going to do right here. And I'm going to ask you guys, who would you rather, Woody Marks versus Brashard Smith? Louis, do you want to take this first?
As someone that made these questions, I don't know why I did it because I love both these guys. But I guess it's who do you want more?
Years. Good job.
What's that?
Nothing. Who's the bigger idiot? You just won.
But I like both of them a lot. I'm going Woody Marks here, and that's just because that's I like that situation a little bit more. Mixon, he's the only guy behind Mixon right now who has not had the longest career with good health issues. Brashard Smith's a little bit down the depth chart there, and they got so many guys still that it might take them a while and whatever. But I did like him a lot in college as well, so I like them both. I'm gonna go Woody Marks.
Oh.
Well, I'll switch it up from you again, and I'm going to go with Brashard Smith here. I like both of the situations. I get the question. Yeah, Woody Marks could be one Joe Mixon injury away from a meaningful role, and Brashard Smith had a ridiculously good 40 time. I have 25% of him in the pre-draft best ball, so that's always a good thing to have. And if he does pan out, that looks great. I just think he's in a good situation. I think he's probably the better player between Brashard Smith and Woody Marks. So I'll take Smith here.
As a USC fan, I just love I'm excited to see Woody Marks play, and just 47 receptions of just last year alone was pretty great. So very interesting. I can't wait to see this great talk, gentlemen. We are going to move on to a very great fan favorite, our cats and dogs.
Trying to get our 2 boys ready to carry them to golf tournament before practice, right? 12 cats live across the road. Our door's open. Screen's broke. We need to get a new screen door, but the screen's broke, so you can come in through the screen, but you can't get back out of it. I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, "What are you doing in here, little kitty cat?" By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way. Cat starts going, meow, meow, all crazy. And I told our players, we need more dogs. Bo's barking in the back. I have to go shut Bo up. Mel's like, what's going on? I said, there's a cat in the house. Cat in the house? I said, yeah, there's a cat in the house. So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. Meow, meow, the cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here. Meow, looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
And that's where I take back my statement that I like mustaches. So welcome back to the Cats or Dogs. This is where we will describe our week's favorite positive player or something, which is our dog, and then the more negative, which is a cat. We like both animals if you are listening. But I go first, and there was a New York Knicks Celtics game this week. And we're all, the three of us here are from Buffalo, if you are listening nationally or internationally. And Stephon Diggs was on a date with the great Cardi B. Now, there was rumors that there was a little cheating going on with her when she was with Offset with Stephon Diggs. If you're in Buffalo, you know the lore of Stephon Diggs and how much of a player on and off the field he is. But this week's dog for me, the great player, is the great Cardi B. Now, if you saw videos of Cardi and Stephon Diggs after the game, you will see that she was giving him a little something, but when he goes to talk to her, she's like, and then like kind of walks away from him in a great, like owning the moment. And then I'm going to go with the cat of the week is going to be, I sound so mean to saying this, but going to be the very lovely, but again, I'm a Buffalo girl, Britt Wills, the former girlfriend of MVP Josh Allen, because TMZ reported that Britt Will, who is stunning, gorgeous, probably very sweet and kind and lovely. They said that she had, or I'm a bitch. They said Britt Will, who has 150,000 Instagram followers, and I was like, LOL. But also, I went and fact checked. She has 138,000. So, like, what a cat! And those are my cat and dogs of the week.
All right. Well, I'll go next. I love
explain what we're doing for our dogs and our cats, though.
Because so Louis and I, instead of
talking football,
talking pop culture, we are actually going to draft or pick players. The dog is going to be a vet that we're going to try to buy, and the cat is the vet that we're going to try to sell. So my cat, I'll start with my cat first. It's actually a player I do like. But I think you can capitalize on some good value right now, and it's Garrett Wilson. You could kind of, shudder at the thought of trading away a potential, top 15 receiver. But I think overall, I think mostly you'd say you've been a little bit underwhelmed by the return on Garrett Wilson so far. And I know that it looks good on paper that he's going to be Justin Fields, number one option, but it is Justin Fields throwing the football. So we don't have to necessarily think that that's going to be a really good thing for their offense or be productive. So just pump the brakes a little bit. If you can get good value, I think I gave up a good amount of value by trading him away for, I think it was a 202, which was Luther Burden, and 302, which again, that's not, you're giving up a lot of value, but if you're right on the player takes, it should work out. And then for the dog vet to buy, this is someone that's been under the radar basically his entire career. It's Josh Downs. And Josh Downs is a good football player. Like I would take him right now on the Bills. I think he would be our best receiver, hands down, easily. So he's somebody you can probably get for like a third round pick, and nobody ever wants to keep him because they're like, oh, Indianapolis sucks and he got hurt and this and that. But damn, when that guy's on the field, he's always producing. So I love me some Josh Downs.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm going to do the Ryan Murrah thing twice and cheat. The first one I'm going to do when I do my dog is a little bit cheating because he's not technical. I mean, he is a vet, but he's kind of a rookie. It's JJ McCarthy. He hasn't played a game yet, but I want to buy him before he does. I think he is going to, we've talked about this all off season. I think Kevin O'Connell is a great offensive quarterback. Coach. He's made these quarterbacks do great. Like, super stoked for him and what he brings. And at the end of the day, the perceived value of him is low right now because of the injury and that no one really loves him coming out of college. But also no one's giving him up. So it's like, so if I could overpay for him a little bit, I will. The Cats, where I'm cheating this time, is I'm gonna give you two. You'd be shocked to know that the vet that I have sold the most of this offseason, and it's a lot to do with just because of how much I had of them, but I'm starting to sell off some of my Josh Allen shares, and it has nothing to do with anything but the fact that he has been quarterback one or two for the last 5 seasons in fantasy. That's not going to continue forever. He is getting close to the age where the running, it will slow down eventually. It's not 2 or 3 years, but in leagues that I am 2 or 3 years away or need the depth, if I could sell him as the most valuable player in a super flex league, as the 101 in a startup, I'm going to get that value, and I have a few times.
All right. So what's your return though? Like what kind of returns are you talking here?
I did one thing where, and again, it's one of those tight end premium to start two tight end leagues where the tight ends are super valuable, where Brock Bowers would be the 1-1 in that startup, and pretty significantly. I paid Allen a first and like another piece for Bowers. Like that's how over and beyond Bowers is the clear cut number 1 in a star 2 tight end premium. Like it's honestly Bowers 2 first, and then whoever you want to put second. Josh probably is there. So
Ryan, what would you do for that? What would you do?
I don't know. I mean, it's so funny that in this like reverse situation where like I'm willing to pay a king's ransom for Ashton Jency, but I'm not for Bowers. And I get it. I mean, I do get it. I think the only problem I have is that Josh Allen's involved. I'm willing to pay a ransom for Bowers. I get the advantage you have. But I think also if you're in that position, you can try to reverse engineer it and say, all right, I'm going to make a bet either on Warren or Loveland and try to win that way and get one of those early picks. So I get the thought, and trust me, when you're nowhere in a tight end premium league at that position, you're fucked. So you got to get somewhere.
I like that you're throwing a wrench into it, Louis. That's kind of amazing, and I hope if anyone wants to talk about that crazy pick or trade, let us know, because we will gladly talk about it next week. So next, we are going to do the annoying chore draft. Louis, why did you pick this?
Just my life sucks right now. I mean, I don't know really what other way to explain. My life has been pretty shitty, and all I've done is spend most of my days doing a lot of shitty things. And I'm like, all this stuff sucks. And I want to try to quantify the shittiest things about life. We're not just doing giraffes. Like, we're not just doing like house chores here. We're not just talking about like washing the floors or doing the dishes. That should be part of this. But just like, what are the most annoying task we have to do kind of on a daily basis? Do a draft. We'll do 4 rounds. All right, let me do the order here. And Allie, you're number 1, Ryan number 2, and I am number 3.
All right. I'm excited about this, but I'm also please know that mine might be very weird because I'm a little neurotic. The people on this podcast know that I'm weird, and I'm weird. But my number 1 most annoying chore. I want to sound like such a jerk.
Do it.
Okay, so it's very high for number 1. No, I'm gonna do it this one. Is small talking at a funeral. I one,
That's a good
I
one.
hate funerals because I'm a big like celebration of life person. Raised Catholic, so if you're a fellow Catholic, you know that there's the open casket. There's if you're like me, my mom is one of 8, my dad's one of 5. So I have 48 cousins on one side. There's a ton of us. We all have institutional trauma, so we all have kind of dark humor. So what always happens is I'm like, oh, she looks like shit, right? And then like and then someone's like, nah, and then someone's like, oh, that's so funny. And then you just try to build, and then you're like, do I sign? Am I even going to get like the breakfast tomorrow? I hate it. It's
such a good answer.
it's such
good
an annoying thing. It's even okay, I'm going to leave it at that because there could be an add-on to my number 2. Small talking at a funeral.
Ryan.
That's great. All right. I'm going to keep mine pretty simple. I'm just going to go with laundry, and I'm going to specify I fucking hate laundry, first of all, but it's really only one step in the process that I hate. I don't mind putting the laundry in, putting the little gel in there. That's kind of fun, right? Push the button, spin the wheel. That's fine. Then, going over to the dryer, again, not a problem. I can do that. Check the lint filter, take that out, no problem.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, if you ask me to take those clothes out of the dryer and fold them and put them away, or eventually take them and put them from my laundry bin and then put them back into like a dry, fuck that. What are we doing with our lives? Think about how much time you spend folding clothes or looking for socks, or you could spend full days in traveling with how much time we spend looking for socks. So fuck laundry. That's my first pick.
You are also a father of 2 very young girls, so I guess the socks are very little. So I do get it. And also when there's robot doctors in China, yeah, why are we so
Listen, I'm nodding my head yes, like I do their laundry, but I don't. So I'm just talking about my own laundry. I fucking hate finding my own socks, let alone the little ones.
I get it. It's a very good pick. Louis, what do you have for your first pick? Second.
My first one's got to be having to call customer service for anything. Just anything. Just anytime you have to get on the phone nowadays and fucking hit 37 buttons and then wait on hold, and it's usually some fucking AI person. You get excited because the first 5 words are like, "Hi, I'm Emily. How can I help you?" And I was like, "Oh, what's up, Em? What's going on? How you doing today?" And then it's, "I'm sorry, I did not make that." I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" And then I'm always screaming, "Talk to a representative!" Like I'm just fighting with like 10 seconds. I'm like just screaming, "Get me to somebody real!" And then fucking something real, and then they don't fucking speak English, and it's just fucking, come on, get me back to the robot. I'm good. Jesus Christ. Sorry, that's the most frustrating thing in the world. And this one's pretty specific, but I'm going to go with moving my mom's car in the winter. And it's because a lot of reasons. She doesn't live with me. My mom got a Mustang convertible as her late life crisis.
What color?
She had blue. And it's her dream car, and she got it like royal blue. And it's her. Okay, I'll tell my mom you're judging, but it's the worst. She won't put it off the road for the winter. She drives it all winter long, and you want to know why she drives it all winter long? Because she has her fucking 40-year-old fat son have to come over every time it snows, and she's got 2-sided parking. Like the two, the side parking where you got to switch it Monday through Thursday. So like if it's snowing, there's a snowstorm on Thursday morning. I have to go there by 6 o'clock and do the shoveling out. And it's the worst. I absolutely would buy her a brand new 4x4 truck if she would just take it, because it's the most annoying thing in the world. And I think I'm paid back for all the years of for her bringing me into life. We're equal.
You'd only make that story better if you're like, and it's only AM radio. I would just be so happy. But Blue Mustang, not my first pick, but Go, Mrs. Gott. That's kind of it's kind of badass. It's not red. Go her. What is your second pick, Louis?
Those are I picked my 2.
I was trying to
It was
get you
that
to
and the
erase the
customer
memory
service.
of that blue car story.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Rye.
Don't
All
want to
right,
take it?
my second pick is going to be sorting through the mail. I mean, guys, when is the last time you've ever gotten anything worthwhile in the mail? Like it was probably that check that you talked about in our opening from your grandma that was, $5 since 1984. Okay. So I mean, it's terrible. There's nothing good. It's how they can still send you a million like credit card offers. Like, why are we wasting this paper? Why are you actually sending me like a pretend card in here? Like I'm gonna go and use it. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing with this stuff? I mean, just call me, send me an email. Let's get rid of mail. I think we can get rid of it altogether. So vote for me for president.
I'm with you, dude.
That is good. So my number 2 pick, I feel like everyone should understand this. This is disgusting. Cleaning outdoor garbage cans. A couple times a year, rinsing out, cleaning out the outdoor garbage bin because it starts smelling a little uncomfortable. And there are things that live in there that I can't and
This is the first time in life I realized you had to do that. So I'm just letting you know those are some stinky ass cans out there. I don't. Oh man.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure my ex-wife did it while she was here. I'm sure
Happy
because
Mother's Day, Nikki.
she's a real adult, but no, I have not been out there. You're telling me I got to clean those things, huh? All right.
I thought you were
Elena,
Yeah.
get down here. Got a dance
the
for you.
commercial with the duck and the grease and not being able to swim. The garbage can can't.
I just hand my 4-year-old the hose. I just put her down and do it. Let's go ahead, have fun.
If I'm the only house that does this, then I feel real stupid. But you got there's things like okay. And then let's do this. When you have house guests and cleaning up, and sometimes and it's not all you men, I know you're very good, but cleaning up other people's pee is like so if I like a clean bathroom, I love a clean toilet. I don't care what my bathroom looks like, but if it's a user everyone bathroom, there's nothing on the ground. I don't want to think it's like it enrages me. But if you are peeing and you can't make the seat happen, 1, let's take away your driver's license, and 2, just sit. It's okay. No, your door is shut. No one's gonna see you. Don't make it weird on me because now I know you're the guy that has peed on my floor because you're like, I don't even know what happens in there. There's no music. It's like, what? Stop.
It happens more when you sit. Now let
then
me tell
don't
you.
sit, stand.
Okay, yeah, I'm just telling you, don't offer to stand. When you
Or
stand,
clean
you
up
gotta think
after
of how
yourself.
physics works. You stand up, there's a little bit of left over, and so
But
always stand
at your
and just
friend's
be better.
house, you should see what you're doing because someone's gonna use the bathroom after you. Now you're the guy that pees on a seat and like, ew.
Oh, 100%. You have to be careful at when you're at friend's house.
In 6th grade, Laura Spires said that she got pregnant because she sat on pee, and that
Wait,
biblically not how it happened.
I think I know her, by the way.
Probably, you probably. Hey, Laura, what's up, girl?
That's funny.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, Ryan.
All right.
When Andy complains,
you guys have like both gone in a direction that like is somewhat similar to 2 of mine, so I'm going to skip those because I don't want to be accused of just idea stealing again. I'm going to go with charging your phone. It sucks. Let's be honest. It's not fun. I get it. It's not really like the worst thing in the world to have to do. But how many times they're like, oh, I have to be tethered to this cord for the next hour and a half because I didn't discipline myself enough to charge it when I should have had time. And I was sitting over here. You ever you sit somewhere and you've been sitting there like on the couch for a while and you realize like it actually hasn't been charging. You're like, oh fuck, I wasted all this time. I could have been charging my phone. It's a minor inconvenience. I get it, but charging your phone sucks.
All right. I got two here. The first one's going to be making the bed, but more specifically, like the fitted sheet part. It is legitimately a fucking sitcom episode every time I try. It is the most baffling. Like I'll have three corners on, and one comes off. I'm sprawled out trying to get all three of it. It's the worst thing in the world.
Wait a second here. I gotta chime in. Is this like? Is this like the world's biggest like prank? That like it's really not that hard to do a fitted sheet.
Hard.
It's not. I think it's just like people like to say it because they're like, oh, it's like it is so tough. Like it's not really that hard. Get an oversized one so you're not like every inch is precious. Just get a little bigger one. Just get bigger, and you're fine. It's not that hard.
California King Murrow right there.
Yeah, no matter what, just always that size. It'll work.
My last one is, and I don't know, you guys can tell me if it should be on here or not, but I'm going to, because it's not, obviously you're not doing it all the time. This is my first time doing it in a really long time, but like, I'm starting to like throw out some resumes out there. Finding a job is the worst. I specifically, we need to, as a podcast, as a community, as the whole fantasy football community, needs to help me here, because I have applied to Underdog 3 times now. 3. The first 2 times, maybe they were just jobs. When you don't know what the title of the job is, you shouldn't apply for them. I get that. And I just did because it was Underdog. And, I got back very very generic. Sorry. We won't consider if they rehired somebody already for this. Well, now the third time, I was like, I've answered these questions because they asked the same 5 or 6 questions the same way. And I was like, I'm not answering these questions anymore. I'm going to tell you why you should hire me. I'm like, legit. I'm a good writer, and I sold myself. I'm a good salesperson, and I sold myself in these things. And I sent that to him, and it was like for a thing I would be really, really good at. It was for a job I would crush with them. It was something and paid well, and I was excited. And then I got another email back. It wasn't the same. Just like we're going a different way, or sorry, we hired somebody. It was after much consideration. And I legitimately in the third one, I go, guys, I literally put one of the questions that was like, what are your best skills? And I legit wrote this casual. I go, guys, I'm not going to stop applying for every job that you guys post. So hopefully this is the one, but I want you to know that I'm going to keep going. We're going to start a hashtag hire Louis. We're all going to just start tweeting it at Underdog until I'm hired. And then I will go in front of the board and the assembly in New York State and get us all to have Underdog back.
I love this.
So what is the annoying chore here? I still, what is that?
Trying to find a job.
It is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Job searching is
degrading. It's really, so.
It's just it's something I haven't even not in 25 years have I had to do it.
As someone
in Microsoft Office Suite,
he's very good. As someone who works in human resources, Louis, the average right now minimum time is 6 months. He just threw up because he heard my statement. But average, if you're looking for a job out there, it is minimum 6 months. So if you find it before then, you're doing so well. But it is tough. Ryan, I think this is your last pick, right?
It is. Yeah, you guys have done very well with this draft. We've covered a lot of ground here, different areas. Again, I had brushing snow off my car, that really high up on my list, but I don't want to take that. It's very similar to to what Louis has.
That is
also. So this is the tough choice I have. Yeah, I'm not going to go with the putting the garbage bag in after you've already taken the garbage out. That fucking sucks. You ever come back in, you've taken the garbage out, and you go to throw back. I hate that, but it's not my pick. It's going to be replacing the batteries in a smoke detector. Okay. That is a process. So you first have to figure out which of the multiple different things you have around the house is making the noise. Then you have to find the ladder, the step stool to get up there. Then you have to find the obscure battery that you only use when you need to replace smoke detector batteries, and you hope you have those. I mean, what are we like? It's a stupid process. We should, put them on a different battery, or I mean, at least make them for double A's or something. I mean, just something useful, not a fucking C or a D battery with the little circle things on them. I hate it. It's making me upset thinking about it. I hate changing the batteries on a smoke detector.
I love that. Very good pick. And I think I close it out, correct?
Yep.
All right. I think we have some listeners who will agree with me on this. I think this is where I'm going to bring it home. Being the designated driver to a parent. Now, whether your parent is intoxicated, or your parent just doesn't like to drive from Kenmore to Buffalo.
Yeah,
it is so upsetting because then you have to be like, what? Again, if your parents drunk and you're like, why am I 40 and you're in a so it's very real. It's the worst chore, and they have a good time while you are just miserable, and you're like, this is why I have trauma. This is why I flick the lights on and off 16 times before I can leave the room. You do that. So having being a designated driver to a parent is my final pick. Gentlemen, any other hot takes?
No, that was fun. That was a good one.
I had two other ones that I will say. One was the worst smell I've ever smelled. I'm a very smell sensitive person. I once had a wasp trap and it fell, and there were again the things that I can't do maggots. But it was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. I still remember it was in 2021. Fell in my backyard. And also small talk at any event where you are the +1. That is also a really bad chore. Wedding, just an event, because you're also looked at like, oh, are you too date? You're like, no, I'm literally with my cousin. Like, I'm just the fun. They needed someone to go with that. Like, it's a weird thing. Anyway, nothing else. You guys have weird chores? No.
The only
other one I had was like.
What was it?
Here's my internet again. It's cutting out, so I was going to quickly say it. Cleaning out the fridge. That's the other one I don't like doing. It's like stuff piling up, and you're just like, oh, here's this thing that's been hanging out in there that I didn't know that's been in there since December. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dishes, gardening, and wearing my CPAP machine were all things still left on my list.
Buying distilled water and saying it's for your steamer, and you're like, nope. Yeah. Actually, for my that was great, guys. This was a lot of fun. I'm sorry to all the listeners who had to hear about sports all episode. We are a really fun podcast. We also have I'm sorry, wait. We have another podcast you can listen to on our network, which is called From This Point Forward. So if you are a hockey fan, it's a really great podcast. You can listen to that. That's included with Chris Plumer, who is a very funny comic. And it's also Ryan and Louie. So check that out. Check out our podcast. We are on all of your devices. We are on all of those stations. Please like and subscribe. We thank you so much for watching and listening.